Hello, everyone. Mike Farella here. I am here to talk to you today about why I've chosen Empower Network to work for me. Julia and I are business owners, small business owners. We own a company called Exulting Images, and it is a full-service photography company where I am the lead photographer and owner, and do a lot of the duties that owners do. Back in 2007, I was out of work for a couple months, and in October of 2007, I was approached by two people that wanted to open a bar, restaurant, sports bar, and grill for the community. I had prior bar experience in the industry. They approached me and asked me if I can help them create their dream come true, brick and mortar bar and restaurant and grill. What a great concept they had. It was a sports bar. It was a sports bar not like any one that was around, so I was really excited about the project. I had gathered my friends that had worked for me, previous employees, gathered them up and established this bar from what was a concept from the two owners to a complete, fully functional operating bar and grill. I worked there from October of 2007 until March of 2008. In March 2008, on my birthday, March 21st, my 33rd birthday, I got a phone call from the owners asking me to come into the bar, and at that time they looked me straight in the eye, and short of saying, "Happy birthday, you're fired," is exactly what had happened. They proceeded to tell me that my services were no longer needed and that they had gotten everything that they needed from me. So I gave them what they ultimately wanted, and they gave me a pink slip back from the olden days. I had to then go home to my wife, Julia, who was pregnant at the time with our one and only child, 2 dogs, a house, 2 cars, the whole works. We had it all. And at that moment, I had nothing. I had no direction. The only thing that I had was that I had a wife that loved me and supported me, and a daughter on the way. Everything else was obviously materialistic, but as the man of the house, you wanted to decide how you were going to provide, how you're going to maintain, and how you were going to be able to just live every day means to live every day. We didn't have a huge savings account. We had barely enough in the bank account. We were working paycheck to paycheck without any idea of what I was going to do. So I told her I'd figure it out, and I that night saw the most amazing sunset that you'd ever see. We live in Florida, in Orlando, and we get some pretty amazing sunsets. So when I saw it, I said to myself, I wish I had a camera. I wish I had a camera to capture this moment. And it was at that point I decided that I was going to be a photographer. I went home to Julia and said to her that I figured it out. I'm going to be a photographer. And she basically said, "What the hell do you know about being a photographer?" And I really didn't have an answer for her. I said, "But I can tell you I'm going to be the best photographer that you've ever seen. And I'm going to make this work for us." It was at that point where I decided to take action. I took action of research, knowledge, education. I found a way to buy my first professional camera. I found a way to day in and day out research every popular photographer, every high-end photographer, every local photographer, how-to videos, how to run a business, how to open a business, how to structure a business. So at the same time as I was trying to learn how to become a very good business person and run and maintain a photography company, I was also doing the same thing as far as learning how to be a good photographer and one that was reputable in the community. Very, very, very short time after I had started the company, I started having big successes because of the work ethic and the amount of time and effort that I was putting into what I was doing. I was called to a UFC fight where I got to photograph ringside. I was called to photograph the last Yankees-Red Sox game in the previous Yankee Stadium, the house that Ruth built. And I got to photograph Bon Jovi. I got to photograph all kinds of other huge corporate events for other corporate companies. And my success was really fast, but it was fast because I was doing the work. I was putting in the hours. I was listening to what the other people had to say, the professionals in my industry, and I was gathering information and I was feeding my brain with what I was directed to and what I wanted most. The same can be said for Empowered Network. You have to work at it. You have to fill your brain with the lessons. You have to listen to what the professionals and the high earners are doing, and you have to immediately input that into what you're doing online in order to have an effective business. If you want the goals, if you see the goals, if you see the numbers, now there's no guarantee that anybody's going to make any money doing Empower Network. There's a full disclosure of income. They present averages every single day. It's all over the place. It's easy to access. But I tell you what, if you have a clear and precise vision and goal about what you want and what you want to achieve and how you're going to achieve it, you direct yourself in every minute and every thought and every action that you do per day is based on that. That's why I decided to take action, and Julia decided with me to take action. We put our email in the box below. We found out more information, and we found out why it was going to work for us. You know, when you're doing what you love to do as a business or a job, it's just that. It's a job. I created a job with Exulting Images, and Julia did too. We created a job that we had to work at, and it relied on us in order to get the next photo shoot, or to go and get the next corporate client, or to go and get the next business opportunity for us. We had to create that, and our business relies on me showing up to work and taking the pictures. Empower Network is quite the opposite of that. It does require you to show up. It does require you to do the things that you need to do in order to have a successful running business. But the business at some point runs virtually by itself. The hours are less. I was working, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and some of you small business owners out there understand that because you're doing the same thing. You get to barely see your family. You're working more hours than you ever wish you can work. You wish you could eat better. You wish you could exercise more. You wish that you had extra money in the bank so that way you didn't have to work so hard. And all those wishes and wants equals one thing. It equals Empower Network. It equals you putting your email in the box below and finding out the information for yourself to see if you can actually do this. If you believe you can, then you can. The information is provided for you. All you have to do is go and get it. And that's what we did with Exulting Images. It's a very, very, very powerful company. We've been able to reach thousands of people across the country through dance. And those people have learned to trust the Exulting Images name. They've learned to love and trust Julia and I and the company that I provide. And they've been able to buy from us. And the same can be said for Empower Network. You have to have people trust in the value that what you're saying is true and what you're doing is true. You have to be honest, and you have to be true to what you're doing. One of the biggest things that excite me the most is the freedoms that Exulting Images has given us from a time-to-time basis is nowhere near what Empower Network has given us as far as freedoms in the past month or so. We've been able to translate our time to something that works for us, for where we're able to do what we want when we want, because of our mentality and our mental vision and focus and clarity through Empower Network. We're going to go to Denver in 3 days, to where we're going to be around a ton, 7,000 to be exact, 7,000 like-minded people, all driven for one purpose with Empower Network. When you're a small business owner, yes, you are a part of a community of other small business owners, and you can reach out to your local chamber of commerce and other places of business that really help and support you. But 70 strong as opposed to 7,000 strong, all believing in the same purpose. I think Empower Network is probably up around 150,000 people that use it. I'm not sure how high the affiliate rate is on that, but it's very high. as far as people that are making Empower Network work for them. The top earners in Empower Network are making on average 5 and 6 figures a month. That's not a year. 5 and 6 figures a month. Again, there's a full disclosure of income that is posted on every part of the Empower Network website. But I tell you what, if you ever looked in the mirror and said, I deserve something more, or I am capable of more, or I can do more, and then do it. Then prove it to yourself, prove it to whoever you want to. Put your email below. Get all in, and figure out how you're going to change your life. Because every moment that you sit on the sidelines and you don't put your skin in the game is the amount of time that you're just sitting there wanting and wishing and hoping that you could be like the people that live the lavish lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying that luxuries are the way to go. I'm saying that if you want a new car, then go get a new car. If you want a new house, then find a way to go get a new house. Everything that you achieve in your life takes action. If you want to do 10 push-ups by the end of the week, well, you have to do the first one. You have to get down, you have to push up, and you have to do that. If you want to reach 10 in a week, then that means you have to set out your course from day 1 to day 7 and say, if I do 2 every day, then I'm going to have 14 by the end of the week. So if you can't push yourself to do just 2 push-ups every day, then you might be lacking the motivation to do that. But if you want to change your life, and change it in a big way, and have a coach, and have leaders, and have information at your fingertips, and you're a hard worker and you go get it, then this is for you. Empower Network is for you. Put your email in the box below, find out more information, and do it. I wouldn't have had all that success with Exalting Images if I didn't put in the days, put in the hours, put in the endless sleepless nights, put in the time without a paycheck. I went 3 years, the first 3 years of owning the company, without even taking a single dime to my name. Now, thank God I had a wife that had a great job and she was able to support us through that. Some people don't have that luxury. I did, but the belief of what I was doing and what I was going to achieve was enough to get me through every single day for 3 years before I started collecting my first paycheck. And that's what I believe in with Empower Network. I don't care if it takes 1 day, 2 weeks, 90 days, whatever the time frame is. I believe that I can achieve what the top earners can achieve because they put their pants on the same way as I do. They're no different than I am. They just have more knowledge and more experience. I'm going to have that same knowledge and that same experience eventually. And I'm not going to give up, and nor is Julia. This is what we've decided. Now, the freedom of having the extra money for us will be, I will always be a photographer. I love photography, but the part about photography that I love has also translated, like I said, into a job. And I don't want my photography to be a job. I want it to be something that I create beautiful art with, and people can relate to me in that way. The one thing that Empower Network gives me is, with the financial freedoms of Empower Network, I can buy the equipment that I feel I've reached to in my plateau, in my platform, and in my future, as far as this is the art that I want to create. These are the tools that I need in my toolbox to create them, and this is the financial freedom that I can utilize as a resource to buy those extra pieces of gear and things that I need to create the art that I need to create. So Empower Network creates the financial freedom to do what you want, when you want to do it, and how big you want to do it. If I want to go buy a $45,000 camera, maybe someday I'll be able to do that, and that's all going to be through Empower Network. So don't be scared. Get all in. Put your email in the box below. Find out more information about what you're going to get into, and if you truly want to change your life, this is the way to do it. Get in now. Get all in. Put your name in the box below. Find out more information, and join Empower Network.